So we recently reviewed the Samsung Galaxy A36 and the A56, and today we will check out the cheapest out of the three new options, and that's the new Samsung Galaxy A26. And let's start right away with the unboxing. Just like with every A series, there isn't too much inside of the box. There is of course the smartphone, and I have it in the white version, but you can also get it in black or in a mint color. Just keep in mind that on the black version you will see more fingerprints, and on this white one right here you will barely see any fingerprints. Alright, then there is a USB Type-C charging cable, a SIM pin, and of course the warranty card and a quick starting guide. So no extra charging brick and also no extra case. Now when it comes to the design and the specs, the Samsung Galaxy A26 is very similar to the A36 and the A56. You get a 6.7-inch display on your 16.4cm long smartphone, which weighs in at roughly 200 grams. You have Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the front and also on the back side, and you have a plastic frame with a typical button island on the right side. Now the glass backside looks very clean. On here you will only find the Samsung logo on the bottom side and the triple camera in your top left corner. Just like on the A36 and A56, these cameras are now embedded into a metal case, but the bad thing is that if you use this phone without a case, this one will wiggle around quite a lot if you put it flat on the backside, which is very annoying. So like I mentioned, you have a large 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display, which has a 120Hz refresh rate, which you can trim down to 60Hz. Unfortunately, you have some pretty chunky black bezels all around the display. The ones on the sides are okay-ish, but you get a big fat lip down at the bottom, but it is similar to the A36. On both, you roughly have a display to body ratio of about 87%. The display has a resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels, and in combination with your Super AMOLED display, your videos will look excellent. The contrast is nice, you have some inky blacks and poppy colors. Then in addition, you get a few display features like you have the Eye Comfort Shield, which is a blue light filter. You can change the screen mode from vivid to natural. You can hide the camera cutout just like on the Samsung A36 and the Samsung A56, and some other little small features like an edge panel and the accidental touch protection. But something that you won't find on here is an always in display mode. As for the audio, it's just a mono loudspeaker, but it still gets pretty loud and the sound is decent too, but you only have Dolby Atmos support if you wear your headphones. And you have an equalizer as well. Now don't expect wonders out of this loudspeaker, but you can definitely live with this. Next we have the battery life, and this one right here supports 25 watts fast charging, and in about 30 minutes it charges from 0 to 55%. You have a large 5000 mAh battery that can last about 2 days depending on your usage, or you can watch movies non-stop for about 17 hours. You also have some better features, like you can play around with the battery protection feature. Right here you can limit the charging. You can set it to adaptive, which will stop at 80% if you charge it over the night and will continue to charge to 100% the next morning. Or you can set a maximum to 80% and it will never charge more than that. And then you have some other features like you can disable the fast charging, or you can play around with your power saving options. Up to the features, and Samsung promised up to 6 years of OS and security updates, and you can buy this phone with either 128 or 256 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM. But unlike with the A36 and the A56, you can actually extend the storage via micro SD card. I have the 128 gig version, and about 18 gigs are already used up by the system, which you can consider normal. Another difference to the A36 and A56 is the fingerprint sensor. Instead of having one underneath the display, you have one on the side button. And I would say this one works a lot faster and has a much quicker response time than the other two smartphones, but therefore it doesn't work like every time. Sometimes you just have to give it a second try. Now, despite of being the cheapest out of the three new smartphones, you will still get some AI photo editing tools. On your selfie pictures, you can actually add a background blur effect, and you can also remaster your pictures. This will give your photos more contrast and better colors. And lastly, you have the object eraser. With this one, you can erase unwanted objects or people from your background. Then you will get some gesture controls as well, like you can double press the side button to open up your camera, you can double tap the screen to turn it on and off, or palm swipe across the display to take a screenshot. So very similar to the other A series models. Of course, you have stuff like your safety and emergency feature, and you have plenty of wallpaper options and a circle to search feature. By the way, if you liked the video so far, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more tech reviews. You will also find the link to the smartphone down below in the description. Next we have the performance and the gaming. And the Samsung Galaxy A26 runs on the Exynos 1280 chipset, which is one of the main differences to the A36 and even a bigger difference to the A56. On your day-to-day usage, you won't really feel the difference. Only here and there sometimes if you do too many things quickly in a row, and you also have to wait a second if you take a picture before you can take another one. And by the way, also the shutter speed isn't the quickest. But if you want to play some games like Genshin Impact, you will definitely have to lower the resolution to low or medium for a good gaming experience. And even then, it won't be super fluid the whole time, especially if you have some bigger battles. At least we have the same game turbo mode as on the other A series, like you can open up apps in a floating window, you can take screenshots and screen record, and of course you can switch between the normal battery saving mode and the performance mode. So let's finish things up with the camera. So like I said, you have a triple camera setup with a 50 megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization, even though I don't think that it works as good as with the other smartphones. You have an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro camera. Plus you can shoot videos in 4K resolution and 30 FPS. Now on the front you have a 13 megapixel selfie cam, which can shoot videos in 1080p and 30 FPS. So certainly not the best camera to shoot your videos. As for the camera modes, you will find things like a portrait mode, a pro mode for videos and pictures, night and a food mode, and many more. Now when it comes to the pictures, I would say that they look as good as the ones that you get from the Galaxy A36. During the daytime, the pictures look poppy, but not oversaturated, and you even get a good amount of details. You can even use the 2 to 3 times zoom camera and still get good pictures with a good quality. Just the ultra wide angle camera isn't the best, as pictures look a little bit soft. You have not as many details and they are not as sharp. And by the way, the macro camera isn't good at all. The portrait pictures look great with a good amount of details, and even the selfie camera is doing a good job, but it really depends on the lighting. The sun can really get in your way and mess up the picture. But otherwise, these pictures look decent with an accurate color tone and a good separation of the object from the background. And guys, there we have it. So I guess I will see you in the next one. Peace.